Hey, what's up, Big Box Virgin Gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Today's Boo Boo card of the day is going to be none other than Igglybuff, Cleffa, and Togepi Rainbow Rare Edition. If you are unfamiliar with this card, this is a Japanese exclusive from Tag Team All Stars. It wasn't released in English, so you may be unfamiliar with it. If you see one in English, it's absolutely fake. But these Rainbow Rares, I swear people are going to look back at them. They're going to love some of these, especially with the texturing in the background, the uniqueness some of them actually pose. And I mean, like the full arts for like the Sun and Moon era, people can say what they want. I liked them a good little bit. Some people found them bland. The Rainbow Rares, in my personal opinion, are something that people slept on, and quite frankly, people are going to be scampering for them later. Speaking of that, that's going to lead into today's topic. Not talking about anything crazy. I've got plenty of things I can talk about later. We'll get to that later. Do not worry. There's plenty of time for it. Welcome into what I call, I'm sure some of you maybe have seen it on Instagram, YouTubes, and all that stuff. We're kind of in the meh phase right now of like our hobby for Pokemon. Like, and that's not a thing that's permanent. It's like something that kind of happens yearly, where people just aren't necessarily feeling what they're doing anymore. That could be for a lot of different reasons, not because people don't necessarily like the hobby anymore. There's lots of shit. I mean, there's like people going back to school, so you got stuff like that. Money's not really going as far as it used to. A lot of sets are coming out. Sets are being pumped out pretty quick. The integration of all different kind of languages of cards, so there's multiple different languages of product people are trying to get. There's content creation side of it. I mean, like for the summertime, views for some people can be really, really down. Some views can be really, really up, depending on what you're kind of putting out. People's priorities have changed. Work is kind of maybe doing some weird stuff. Maybe people got you working some weird shifts. You got working doubles. Maybe people are getting sick. People aren't putting their stuff into it anymore. We're kind of in like the meh time frame, and I kind of noticed this really big on Instagram. Whenever I still post cute little photos of cards on Instagram, you kind of see people talk, especially like on stories. You get a good little more personalized view of how somebody feels about something. You kind of see more like real time what someone's doing. I mean, you can see comments on YouTube and things like that, and that's super great. I kind of get a good idea of how people feel about certain things. Instagram, you can kind of see it a little bit more real time, and there's just a lot of people that are either it's a few different things. They're not really too happy with like the current state of Pokemon. I mean, Poltergeist just got announced for actual Scarlet and Violet for the DLC. And I think it looks pretty cool. It's basically a new form of Poltergeist. It's basically just a cracked pot. Looks like a fucking tea pot looking thing or something like that. I think it looks cool. There's some people that are definitely not happy with it, and that's been happening a lot. Pokemon's been unveiling a lot of new things, especially with Archulodon and like Diplin. Man, whoever is running that kind of stuff, Pokemon has a big hard on, a big fucking rock hard penis for Gen 9, or not Gen 9, Gen 8, excuse me. And they love Galar region right now, because that's what most of the new variants of Pokemon are all looking like. They're just Galar Pokemon, which I don't have a problem with that. I guess some people who didn't like Sword and Shield, they're probably like, get on with it. And it's like, I say to you, don't you worry, there'll be more Charizards and more new forms that soon. It's Pokemon. They'll make sure you're nice and milked for that. Don't worry, it's coming. If you like Charizard, that's fine too. But they seem to be really focused on this. People not really happy with that. Like cards coming out. And look, I kind of understand this one personally. Let me paint a picture for you. There's a lot of different cards coming out right now. They're like Raging Surf's coming out. They've already announced like the fucking Paradox sets in Japanese, the new high class set in Japanese, which means of course a lot of the other Asian languages are going to be announcing that stuff too. People's now expanded like range of like what they grab, because a lot more people are into Japanese, Chinese, Korean cards. And then, of course, people still gotta get their English. So money is now going much further and further. So people really aren't actually able to get as much as they want. They're diversifying everything and spreading around. So when people actually are looking at their collections they've got for each one, none of them are really complete, because you spent like that much money. And look, that's for everybody. I don't think anybody here is big balling like that unless you got like a business and you're constantly ripping cards. But even then, you're probably not usually ripping for yourself. You're ripping for other people. So your collection might be a little bit lackluster, minus a few grails you got, but beyond the point. People are kind of saying that stuff about cards. I did an opening video pretty recently, and I pulled a Tinkaton. That was my good card from that stuff. Spoilers if you didn't watch my opening video. And I had a couple comments where people were basically like, oh, look at this guy Cope that he pulled like a Tinkaton full art. Look how he's pretending to be happy. And that's something that kind of pops up every now and again when people are like showing their face. Like money talk starts popping up a little bit more around the meh time, because money is really like a big thing that kind of has to be spread around a little bit more whenever you're actually trying to pump yourself into the hobby. And I wasn't upset about getting the Tinkaton. I would have been perfectly fine getting a Tinkaton full art. I like full art cards. I know a lot of motherfuckers don't, but I do. I'm not taking that back. I will have an argument about anyone any fucking day of the week why full art cards are great and should still be in sets. But that's a whole different thing. The only reason I was a little bit like, is because it was a double. I had pulled that one before, and that was kind of the only thing. There's several full arts I still didn't have from the set. It's kind of a little bit of a harder set to get, and I just, it would have been cool to get something else Whether it was a full art or whether it was something else, I would have been fine with any of it. But I was happy pulling something because I was opening cards once again and I was making content for that stuff. It's another thing too, opening content. I'm sure you've seen some of your favorite content creators not around. And once again, I listed a bunch of reasons why. It's just, you find it harder to put yourself into something when you're not really into it. I can make videos about like anything I want every fucking day because I'm having a grand old time doing it. I love that you guys love the videos. I love making the videos. The only thing that kind of restricts me sometimes is time and jobs and things like that, where I have to actually go do certain things real time for work. And sometimes it takes a little bit more time than I would like. Sometimes I got to leave my fucking house, got to go out of the state and do some stuff, and that kind of brings into stuff. But I appreciate everybody who sticks around and watches it. I have no problem doing it, but there's a lot of people where it gets them really down. There's people that just, they're not performing as well. They don't have the motivation. They don't really have any ideas of what they want to do. And for people that open a lot of products getting a little bit harder to obtain for certain things, and people just opening Obsidian Flames, Paldea Evolved, all the readily available things. Sometimes if you're not really fresh with your content, that can get kind of stale, and it'll reflect when people actually talk about your videos. And not saying anybody is like that in the Pokemon community, but I know you can look at your own content because I've done it myself. You can look at your own content and be like, that's just, I don't know if anybody's going to watch that shit, man. That's actual fucking trash what that guy's putting out. I've definitely looked at my videos before and been like, man, why do people watch what bullshit I put out? I don't get it. I really appreciate the people that do. The last thing I've seen, especially with meh, especially when it came to like Instagram, is like people looking at their own personal collections, is they'll look at cards, but then like instead of actually looking at what they have, they're so busy looking forward with all these new brand new sets, and that's no one's fault. Pokemon's just really bad about like being like, okay, you got this set, well here's this fucking set right here. Oh, you got Obsidian Flames, well check this out. We got Paradox Rifts or whatever the fuck is coming out next, right? Look at all these other sets that are about to come out. While you're actively trying to complete said set right here, you're already putting money into something, and then like it's like, oh yeah, we drop pre-orders for this set right here. Get your fucking pre-orders now for boxes that will be abundant and everywhere. There is no fucking way that main set is going to be hard to obtain. If you want to throw a little bit of money for 151, I could see some mofos actually doing some scalp rippy shippies for that stuff. I could see it. But for Paradox Rift, man, I don't know why people still do pre-orders for that kind of shit. Besides the Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs. If you want to do that, that's cool. Everything else is going to be fucking abundant. I can go to Walmart right now. Now that everything's here, dude, there's Obsidian Flames ETBs everywhere. They're fucking everywhere. I can't go to a Target without walking through the door, have some greeter wave at me, and then trip over 4 ETBs right there at the door. I don't know. That's me. I don't give a fuck about the hype anymore. It's just very much a thing where it's like, I have great cards. I look at my collection. I see what I've obtained over the last few years. I feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty good about the things I've done, the decisions I've made, and where I've been with Pokemon. And I feel like if a lot of people who have their binders and stuff actually take a look back at what they did, the meh feeling that people have kind of fades, in my personal opinion, especially when you're not like so worried about what's coming out later. You're not so worried about completing sets. You're not so worried about doing that. It's just, you gotta let some of that stuff go. You gotta just kind of get out of that. But once again, with new people coming in every year, there's a new wave of meh where people get burnt out. There's a new wave of people just not feeling what's going on. New wave of people criticizing cards that are perfectly great, that are perfectly fine. I mean, fucking alt arts are getting criticized now. I've seen people just like lay in to some alternate art cards like, why the hell do people even like this card? And it's like really popular ones too. Like ones that absolutely make no sense. Like I make fun of some cards for like fun. There's mofos that are actually doing that stuff for real. Be like, this card should be like $5. And it's like one of the evolution, like alt arts or something like that. It's like, bro, like I get hype. Hype is fucking stupid. I understand that. But like to say the card's not good, like, bro, that's like saying Super Mario 64 is not good. Like, say what you will. Say about the overhype for that shit. But I mean, it's a good card. And same with, I don't know. I've been getting Japanese product where I can. Box here, box there, something like that. I've been picking up a couple English products, box here, box there, picking up singles, you know, card here, card there. I've been getting the actual, I just picked up actually the Gita SAR. Picked up that one for relatively cheap. I was actually surprised how cheap it was. She's waifu as shit. And she's like $60, like $55. What the fuck? I guess, I don't know. Something's kind of changing with that kind of mindset. I've noticed some other cards are dipping. There's some other cards in Japan that are not dipping at all. In fact, don't let people fucking fool you. Japan's still going nutso butso about the actual waifus and certain alternate art cards. Some of them dropped. Some of them absolutely have not dropped. Some of them have like quadrupled in value, especially if you can get it in a PSA 10. Don't worry so much about that. I've stopped worrying about that. It's still something I might talk about every now and again because of how ridiculously stupid some people hype it up. But, I don't know. If that helps you with your meh feeling in Pokemon, I hope it does. It's a yearly thing. It happens. I've been here for years and years. It happens every year. It affects everybody a little bit different. Just if you like it here, just you like it here. Do what you got to do. Reach out to people if you need something. And it's just cards at the end of the day. It's the people here that actually are talking to you and supporting your content and, showing what they got, sharing their collections, meeting up with people. That's what makes this place super cool. Other than that, this is just shit right here. It's good shit. I like it. I really do like my stuff. You can't have it. None of this is yours. It's mine. It's my stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just things. People talking is what makes it cool. That's all I got. Appreciate it, Virgin. See you later. Go get some fucking Charizards and yeah, have fun.